Holly Cotton here, and you guys, I am so honored today to be joined by Randy Adams. And Randy is going to tell us his story, which is very unique and also inspiring. And he's going to tell us his story of basically how he was just going on with life, and then he is now the founder of RISEUP. He's going to talk to us about life after having a major physical I don't even know what the word, but just he's going to tell us all about his story, because I don't want to say that it's like a physical survivorship, because you're still the same person. It's just how you look on the outside. But he's going to tell us all about his journey. He's going to tell us about his brand, all that great stuff. So welcome, Randy. Nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you, Holly.
Thank you. Okay, so first, Randy, let me tell you guys, because I'm always on Instagram stalking people, trying to find people with unique stories, people that I can highlight, people that are trying to make a change, make a difference, all that great stuff. So I was just minding my business on my Explorer page, and one of Randy's posts were up, and he was actually he was answering a question, and people were asking him about how to drink from a straw. And I didn't even look at the actual video, Randy. I read like the caption, and then I looked at your video, and I was like, "Oh, okay. So this is unique. Let me see what his story is." So then I went and I stalked his page, and very, very, very inspiring. And Randy, can you kind of just give us an idea of exactly what has happened, because this has been a very trying year for you? So can you kind of just give us an insight into kind of where you started to how you got to this point?
Yes, absolutely. We have to go all the way back to January of 2021. Um, First of all, I'm in the United States Army. Current rank and grade is Sergeant First Class, United States Army. At the time, I was on PCS leave. That's a permanent change of station. It's a transition from one duty station to the next, and I was in Chicago visiting family while I was on leave. While I was there, I was I stopped in Chicago because I was en route to go to Germany. That was supposed to be my next duty station. So while I was in Chicago, um, an assault took place. An assault on me. I was attacked blindsidedly. Um, there's some other legalities that I can't discuss at this time, but it left my face badly beaten. Um, I was admitted to the hospital, like evac, EMS. When I got there, they uh, induced me into a coma. Um, I thought, like it would be something simple that they would do, maybe stitch me up, hit me with, whatever medications or drugs or whatever, and then I'll probably wake up the next day like, okay, all fixed, all sewn up. You know, that wasn't the case. Instead, I woke up 30 days later in Texas in a military hospital in Fort Sam Houston. Um, Not knowing where I was wrapped from head to toe. Um, I couldn't move any of my extremities. I was I could barely see. My vision was severely impaired. My entire body was in pain. I didn't have any recollection of what was going on or how I got there. I just know that somebody told me, like, you know, um, hey, you're at Kirk Army Medical Center in Texas. And I was like, wait, I'm supposed to be in Chicago. Like, I was supposed to go to Germany. Like, what's going on here? Like, but so I went through all of my recovery there at the hospital, from the occupational therapy, learning how to walk, learning how to talk again, learning how to write, uh, working on my vision. So I had that therapy as well, learning. activities of daily living, everything, how to get dressed, how to brush my teeth. It was just a very rigorous and strenuous process of occupational therapy, physical therapy. Um, I had to learn how to drive again. Like I went through um, driver's training, everything. It's like my entire life was reset, and my entire identity was erased, and I was like a baby again. I guess you could say. Um, but I went through, I'd say, about 18 months of recovery in different areas. Like I said, occupational therapy, physical therapy, recreational therapy, vision impairment, maxillofacial. That's why I have prosthetics for my face now for privacy and protection. Speech therapy, ear, nose, and throat, because I had a tracheostomy in my neck. That's why I have a large hole here. It's larger than others, but because I got tubes in my stomach from tube feeds, JG tubes, jejunum and gastric tubes in my stomach because I couldn't eat in my mouth. All my food was basically fed from like the IV machines next to my bed for months and months and months. I want to say like maybe 4 months of tube feeding before I was, trained up by speech therapy and those other agencies inside the hospital to get me to eat solid food, but one step at a time, soft to solid. But and I was discharged from the hospital, say 6 months. After 6 months, they finally discharged me and put me in a recovery unit, a military like recovery unit, where I continue, outpatient therapies and whatnot, um, and started my medical like retirement process from the military, um, and that has been going on for over a year now. So, and during this time, I was like, there was just so many. The story is just so lengthy. There's just so much that took place in this time frame, and I don't know how much time we have, but I can
Well,
I got all night,
yeah,
honestly.
it's I mean it's a lot though. Like I mean, I'm just amazed all and being a nurse, I've been a nurse for 20 something years. I've done ICU, I've done all of that also. And I've been the nurse that has had to tell someone where they wake up, "Hey, you've been in a coma for 30 days or you've been in a coma for 3 weeks." And the person is like, "Wait, what? I was just driving to the store and now like 3 weeks of my life is gone." So I know that's an adjustment as well. And you guys, if you go and look at Randy's page, like he's in the gym lifting weights and he's doing workouts in the gym. Like he is back on it. Like he never missed a step. So when he's talking about this whole transition about, he had to learn how to walk again and all of that. And then you see that he's out here like nothing ever happened. It's amazing and it's inspiring. So I love that you are able to share that with us. And we don't want to go too much into making you have to go through every detail. Obviously, it was a lot for you, but can you tell us one of the biggest challenges you dealt with going through your recovery process? Like what I know there were so many, Randy, so not to be insensitive, but like what is one thing when you look back now and you're like, "Holy crap, I can't believe that I did this."
That's a tough question because it's so much to that I can speak on. Um, I guess one of the most difficult things that I have to deal with is what I still deal with today, and that's being in public. That's I had to get over the fear of being in front of people. Um, so I isolated myself for a very long time. It was very difficult for me to, when they finally took the wraps off my face and I seen like everything that was missing, like if you don't mind, but I this was all scarred from skin grafts, like from my forehead all the way down. Like nothing, none of this looked like this. And there's some pictures on my social media that will show that all of this was black, like the actual color black. And it was all scarred and charred looking. Uh, and I just, I couldn't believe it. It's like I had a lot of trauma and and healing that I had to do first before I was able to even talk to anyone. It's like because I went through a stage for months where I would ask doctors, I would even ask my family, like, why would you even let them bring me out of this if you knew I was gonna come out looking like this and I had to face the world looking like this? Like, where's the where's the quality of life in that? So it's like I have to like I'm still it's gonna be a constant battle, a constant fight because we know how cruel the world is. They're not gonna treat me like a human being, they're gonna treat me like a monster. And lo and behold, you go through my comments, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or wherever I post it, on Facebook, you see there's I'm not saying that all people are bad, but you still have a lot of cruel people out there that make memes out of me or call me things that it's like I'm not a human being. Like I don't have a spirit inside of me. Like I don't have a soul inside of me. Like I don't, like I didn't raise my right hand for this country and you know dedicate 15 years of sacrifice away from my family, my friends, and everything else that I've done in other countries around the world. So it's like that's the toughest thing I have to deal with because um, every I have to work out like I have to work up a lot of energy. I have to build up my self esteem. I have to build up my strength just to walk out the door every day. Like the strength it takes for me to get out the bed to know that I have to go out in public and face millions of people. Um, it it that was very difficult at first. It's getting easier over time because I've learned to overly love myself, and the self love factor had to take place in order for me to be able to do this. But everywhere I go, it's stairs. Like it doesn't matter whether I'm pumping gas or I'm walking through Target. Like it's just people. It's everybody's. It's always eyes on me, and sometimes it's um, out of curiosity. Some people are just like wondering, like, man, what happened? And then some people are really rude and they give me dirty looks. And then you have people who actually say things or make like little sound effect noises and whatnot. Like one guy walked past me and he was just like, "Damn," and I'm like, "Is this
Dang.
life?" So, um, and that's the most difficult part.
Right. All right, Randy. So, just to go into a little bit more detail about that, because I know you gave us the general idea about waking up and being in the
Hmm.
hospital and kind of like that part of it. So, can you go into some of the specifics about what this condition was called? Because I know a lot of people are wondering, well, what could happen to me where all of that could happen from something. So, what is the condition called, and what was some of like the treatments that you had to have?
So the the condition is called. It's a difficult word, so just rock with me on this one. And it's like 1% of people may have heard of it, but it's called purpura fulminans. All right, and it's spelled Purpurafulmins. So That was what they eventually diagnosed me with. So what happened is there was an infection that set into my blood that caused sepsis throughout my body and caused this necrosis, which is why I had all of this deterioration of my nose, my upper lip, bilateral jaw, like both sides of it, my chin, my neck. Um, Same thing with like the scars down my leg and my arm, like all of that is called necrosis. So, and it also, that sepsis and that is like, it shut down every organ inside my body. Like, I literally had already died while I was in a coma. So they had me hooked to all kind of machines to revive, like my kidneys, my heart. They were gonna do open heart, like a open chest and open heart surgery, because that had failed as well. So yes, it's freakish. It can really happen to anyone if your blood gets infected um, following any type of attack or any type of cut, scrape, laceration. So that's that's what happened to me.
So basically, for anyone that's listening that doesn't have a visual of Randy, and if you're just listening to the audio, so Randy, your nose was removed, correct? Top
Yeah.
lip, and then some of your, what happened on your neck? What was the,
Yeah. So that was all necrosis as well. So like a good portion, I would say maybe 30 to 40% of my lower lip was also removed, and there was scarring, like necrosis that went down my neck as well. So when they grafted it, when they did the skin graft, it just draw down everything, like from this side of my lower lip. So that's why I can't hold like fluids or food on that side end because all of the scarring, it just pulled everything down. So
right? So that scar tissue
yeah.
is just making it where it's really, really tight. And a lot of times they
Hmm.
do like scar revisions or anything. Do you have any procedures that are coming up, or they're just gonna have, are they gonna reevaluate, or is this like they said, this is it, this is the best that it's ever going to be?
That I've had a total of like five additional revision procedures. Like these aren't even my real eyelids. This is skin from my thighs. These are also like grafted on. So they did like Z plastic procedures um, to try to, basically make them equal, um, the, the the size of the opening for both eyes. They That's what the Z plastic procedure was. So they did like incisions on both sides to try to open them up, but once it's scarred, like this side, was tighter than this side. So that's why this eye is larger as far as the opening than this eye. So it looks like this side is lazy. Um, but they do the Z plastic procedures, and I also have undergone like a lot of C2 laser treatments for the scars because they were like itching and burning real bad while they were healing. Even after they had fully healed, like the nerve endings and whatnot was just I was just out here like just scratching real bad, like like a fiend or something. So,
Yeah, people don't know about
so
that either. So I'm glad you talked about that. So let me ask a question. Oh, so first of all, like I said, you guys, I kind of stalked Randy's Instagram and I went back on his page. And so, Randy, we know you always been a pretty boy, and you always had your self care right. You always had your self care down, and had your lotions and your mustache and all of that. Right, right, right. So, so I know that now you do have to have a certain routine that you're doing to care for, this new skin and stuff like that. So, can you kind of give us an idea of like what you're doing on a daily basis to maintain, like you said, you had the itching and stuff like that? So can you tell us what it's like and what your like daily skin care and your routine is?
So I started off with when everything was like the fresh grafting, like the fresh scarring. I started off just using Aquaphor. Like the hospital, they gave me just tons of jugs of Aquaphor that I could just use at my dispense. That and Eucerin, and that helped tremendously with the scarring. I continue to use that to this day because it worked wonders on my skin. It as far as the healing, and it got my skin back to looking like this today. Like you could barely tell that all of this was scarred up. Um, but like I just want to say, like, first and foremost, I'm really proud of I'm really proud of how far my condition has come, like how well I have recovered. And as much as, people have tried to tear me down, has only created like, it has only created like a different beast in me. Like it has created a reason for me to overly love myself. But um, but back to the skincare, I could do normal skincare routines that anybody else could use. I could use the toner, I could use the exfoliator, I like the moisturizing, like I could I use all of that. As far as like when I first wake up in the morning, to give you like a quick get ready example, the first thing I do is, after I brush my teeth and whatnot, brush my teeth, I have like this gel that I use. Um, and it's like a fluoride gel, and I just like basically rub it in across my gums, and it lasts, you know, for a good amount of time throughout the day. I may have to reapply maybe twice throughout the day, but it keeps my gum moisturized. And then I use my prosthetic, my mask, and that also covers, my gums and my mouth throughout the day. Um, so that keeps a lot of foreign like stuff out in the atmosphere from like blowing into my gums and blowing into my nose and whatnot. Also, probably wondering like, how do I blow my nose? Is another question that I get, and I don't blow my nose. Like I can, but it's so weird because I have to actually plug one side and blow into the tissue, and then do the same thing with the other side. I'll plug it and then blow into the other side, and then the rest, the remainder or whatever boogies and that's there. I just take a Q-tip and I just swab it out, and then I'll take like the Aquaphor and put some more, make sure it's moisturized, but like actually put it on the Q-tip and just swab on the inside to moisturize the inside of my nasal passages and whatnot, and that cleans it all the way out. And I may have to do that maybe another 1 to 2 times throughout the day because if I don't have my prosthetic on, I don't have any privacy. And people ask me all the time, like, why do you have to wear that mask? Like, you look fine just how you are. And I'm like, we have to understand it's a privacy thing because if I'm looking at you and you're looking at me and there's no mirror, there's no reflection, like, I can have a huge booger right here in my nose and nobody
And
would
people
know
don't want to hurt your
except,
feelings, so they're not going to tell you.
and they don't tell me. I just have a hanger the entire time, and I'll be just talking to somebody and they won't say it. So it's like I'd rather have the prosthetic on. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather have it because then if I do got a booger, nobody's gonna know until I get home and take it off and whatnot. But so that happens. That's something that would happen in public. So and it's also for protection because if I happen to say, I don't know, bump into something, run into a pole, trip and fall and land on my face, again, I don't have like the extra cartilage or extra tissue or anything like everybody else has on their nose to like help break the fall. Like this is going straight to the bone. Like all of this is gonna get tore up. Same thing with the lip. I don't have that extra, layer of protection from my teeth. So all of this is gonna get busted up. So it provides privacy and it provides protection. So that's pretty much what goes into my day and how I conduct myself throughout the day. That's a quick rundown.
Okay, that's very interesting. I didn't think about the
Yeah,
prosthetic with that, but yeah, you're right. It's
yeah,
also a barrier because the just especially with temperature changes, the wind,
yeah,
drying, over drying your your mouth out. You don't have that easy access to just whatever,
right,
like the upper lip or whatever. So that's very
yeah,
interesting. Thank you for sharing that
and
with
yeah,
us.
it's those atmospheric conditions, and like another thing with the mask is when it when I was talking about earlier with the um, just outside privacy or just like dealing with people in the public, the stares, the eye. Like if I'm outside just like this, then it intensifies like the amount of stares and the amount of rudeness, the amount of everything that comes with just being out in public. So when I put the mask on, it it simplifies things a little bit and it makes going outside an easier experience for me because now I mean people still give you stares like, man, what's up with the mask? Like, but I've had people come up to me and ask like, hey, did you have surgery? Is that why you got the mask on? Like, I don't know if you know about the basketball player Richard Jefferson for the Detroit Pistons. And was it is it Richard? I'm sorry, Richard Hamilton. I'm sorry. For the Detroit Pistons, he used to wear the mask in the
Hmm.
game because he had a broken nose, and so people think that that may be something that's going on, so they don't pay me too much of unnecessary attention, and that helps. It's easier for me, and it cools my anxiety down as well. So that's another reason why I like my prosthetics.
Okay, good. Yeah, as soon as you said the mask or the basketball, I immediately thought of that mask, like with the whole mask or whatever. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Like you very incognito because you put that hoodie on with the mask and you can't even
yeah,
tell that it's like a prosthetic because you don't see the buckle in the back. So you can have a little
right,
bit of normalcy for a little while, without all the nosy people scrutinizing everything that you're doing. So that's a
right.
great point. I love that. So, FYI, if you see someone with a mask, sit your nosy butt down somewhere. You do not need to know why somebody has a mask on. Like, leave them people alone and mind your business. They have a mask on. You never know. It could be somebody like Randy. It could be something that's a prosthetic. It could be something else that they're doing. So, that's the problem. People just feel like they're too entitled now where they deserve to know what someone is going through. You don't deserve to know that. Sorry,
Yeah.
Randy. I got on my little.
Hey,
Sorry,
get them,
get on
get
my
after them. They need to hear this. Tell them,
right.
Holly.
Exactly. Anyway, right. Because Randy ain't gonna
Yeah.
fight y'all, but I will. So, is there anything else, Randy, that you want
Self
to?
defense, man.
Right.
I got these. I got hands now.
Right. Don't like I always don't let this fool you, okay? Like this right here, don't let it fool you, But
Unless
is
the
there
fact that
anything
I believe in God.
facts. Um
Okay. Come
so
on.
is there anything else, Randy, that you want to bring up or that you want to talk about or that you want to add as a final word for anything? Is there any points that we didn't cover? Anything else you want to add?
That's just about the brand and the meaning behind it is like the reason that acronym is remember to inspire someone every day. I believe we all have a story. We all have a gift. Every life is precious. Like we are all humans and we all can inspire each other to make the world a better place. Like we all have something that we can attribute to society and to each other. Just like I have a story, Holly, you have a story, and we can build off of each other. My story can make you better. Your story or your survival can make me better, and that's what it's all about. Um, and and that's the whole premise. That's the whole bottom line of what my brand is, and why the main reason why I want to scale it and take it to higher heights now because I see the power of like the impact. I see how, it feels good to know that you're changing lives. And we don't get a lot of that in our society. We get people that get put in, you get the wrong people that get put in the right positions, and they could affect change and don't do anything with the positions that they in. But the people that actually have a message and have something that they can, do for like the good of society, we always get that ceiling and never get a chance to rise above. So let's rise up.
I love that. I love that. I love that. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, Randy, and I wanted to bring you on and give you a platform that was in, like we said, kind of like a safe area or a safe audience, because we need to educate people where they don't even know that they're being insensitive about certain things. They don't even know that what they're saying, like, hey, you're being a butthole, like, I call people out all the time. But I know it was, again, Randy and I kind of, before we started recording, I mentioned that, you know, I think that a lot of us that have been through some kind of survivorship, it's like you're so focused on, am I going to live or die? Am I going to live or die? Am I going to live or die? Like every day you wake up, you're like, is this the day? What's going to happen? So you're so focused on that surviving that you forget that now, or you haven't, not forget, but you don't even know there's a life after you survive. Like this is your life, forever, even with reconstruction, even with anything else they have coming up for you. So I like people to know that being a survivor is a lifelong thing. It's not just you got better and you lived and now you just go on living life like it's nothing. Like you said, this is something you're having to live with every day. So I love that you're sharing that story with us. And also, while you guys was sitting up here talking smack about Randy and doing this stuff, all you did was motivate him to come up with Rise Up, which is his brand. So I'm super excited. I was trying to write down the acronyms, but he said it so quick. But remember to inspire someone every day. And so,
Yeah.
yep, and yep. We rocking hoodies, we rocking everything. So I
It's on the back. I think I got it on the back.
okay.
So
Thank you. I needed that, Randy, when I was trying to remember the words. Um, so
we're good.
so tell us about how you came up with there. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Can
So,
tell us how you came up with the idea for it and what your goal is with having this new brand.
so initially, it's a crazy story. Honestly, I at the time when I wrote out like my business plan, like just the brand, like I honestly just wanted to inspire people by the journey I was going through. I had no real intention. I can't. I, I didn't expect things to scale up as fast as they did because, like I said, I was out. I was without communication and some things for quite a while, and I just wanted to let my family and friends know that I was okay. I wanted to just have a brand to just like sell to my friends, my family, or just anybody that wanted to support like my recovery process and the things that I was going through. Um, and that was really it. The whole like ideal behind the brand was motivation, was inspiration, was to show people my journey, and if they were going through something in their life, whatever their trial or tribulation is, like maybe you can look at what I'm going through and seeing the things that I'm overcoming, and maybe that can inspire you to get through what you're going through. Maybe you can look at your situation smaller and say, man, if he got through that, I can definitely get through this. Like I'm tripping. I wanna. It's people that have lost their life for less, and this may be like a turnkey, or it may be, like a something that they will view at some point and come across and think like, I needed to see that because I was gonna end it. Or, I'm glad I've seen that because I was really stressing about this situation, but it's really small. Look at Randy. He over there surviving, and look at him. So, like, if you look at it that way, then that's what motivated me to keep going and to keep pushing the brand, because more and more people started to reach out to me and was like, "Hey, I don't care what happened to you. Like, the fact that you still out here and you still getting after it, you in the gym, you motivate me to work out. You going out in public, you posting selfies and all of that stuff like that. Like, we don't know how we would do it. So, man, keep doing what you're doing because you're giving us hope, you're giving us strength." So I'm like, I gotta keep going.
I love that. And do you feel like, Randy, do you feel like the the having a purpose now of inspiring other people, and like you said, people looking at you now and they're like, wow, you gave me motivation. Do you feel like that has helped you in your healing process by talking about your story and inspiring other people?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I I feel like that has done wonders for my recovery process. Honestly, I didn't think anybody cared at first. I was like, I'm just another deformed person out here, like, or with, some kind of physical disability or deformity. Like, I didn't think, I didn't think much of it, and the feedback is what it definitely pushed me in the direction that I am right now.
Okay, I love that. See,
All of the positive feedback, and people don't, and it's, I think it's good that they hear this, when they hear this, is that they don't know exactly how much they're doing for each other. People don't know how much they're doing for each other. Sometimes it's just as simple like, "Hey man, you pump me up," because I've had bad days. I'm not always a strong person. Like, I have my days where I am weak, but I can just like go on my inbox sometimes and I'll just see somebody say like, "Hey man, I seen your video, you doing all those push-ups. Like, I went to the gym today because I felt like I was being what I'm saying, a couch potato, or I felt like I was being a fat body. So I got up and I did some push-ups, even if it was in my living room, because I seen you do it. And I'm like, you know what? I got to brush it off. It's people that's getting motivated. So let's go.
hey, you motivated me. That's why I'm telling you. I stalked your Instagram and I was like, now you know what? If Randy is out here dealing with all the foolishness from everybody around, plus going and working out, like, I need to take my butt to the gym too. So yes, thank you for inspiring us. Um, and so another question that I wanted to ask you is, because I know, okay, so most of my listeners already know that I am a breast cancer survivor. So sometimes I get a little irritated by excessive questions about breast cancer. Thank you, thank you. Or like I'm not the spokesperson for everybody and their mama who had cancer. Like, I don't know. So being a nurse and being a cancer survivor, I get asked all kind of questions, and sometimes I'm like, okay, enough. I don't want to just be always answering questions about that. So I know that you have some the of your reels or questions that people have asked you about and that you've answered, because I guess they ask you the same the same questions all the time. So for someone who's interested, how do they navigate that line? Like, how do they know what is appropriate to ask someone, or like yourself, or what are some questions that are completely off limits where you're like, I can't believe that you would ask me that? How do we figure out what are questions to ask someone that is going through, like you said, your healing process and all of this? And what are some questions that you're like, hell no, don't ask nobody else that ever again in life?
Yeah. Um, I've had some pretty disrespectful questions that I've just kind of scrolled past and ignored. Um, I've had questions as dumb as, "Hey, because your parts of your nose are missing, or because you know, say like your nostrils are missing, can you still smell?" Um, I've had questions like that, and it's like I had somebody ask me, "Can you kiss a girl?" Like people ask like the wildest questions. It's like at one point it was hurtful because I didn't expect that type of influx of questions to come in out of nowhere. But then, after going through like all my counseling and my therapy, and I start like but I think the better questions, the ones that lead to teachable moments. And I actually just started to do like replying to like the questions and then like posting them. And then I actually just started that because I've actually started feeling better, even more like better about my condition and like willingness to want to, you know, have these teachable moments with people. So when people ask me like, how is it when you drink? So it's like, oh, okay, like that's obviously, I mean, that's a good question to ask because looking in the mirror, um, I asked myself how I was gonna do that once upon a time. I had these times in the hospital, and I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, how am I supposed to drink from a cup? Like, this is all missing. I don't. What am I supposed to do? Like, so I created that reel. Like, this is how I drink. And then there's other questions. Actually, there's one that I've recorded already, and I'm gonna possibly put that up maybe in the next day or two. I've done. I still need to do some editing to it, but someone asked me how do I care for my gums and my nasal area, like how do I care for my teeth? So I'm kind of doing like a get ready with me type of reel. And I got like the creams, the gels, the little utensils that I use to clean, like my nose and stuff like that, so they can see me because I feel like that's out of curiosity. Like I feel like people would get like a good teachable moment out of that because these are things that I had to learn how to do also, and I was confused about it myself.
That's actually an interesting one. I can't. I can't wait to see too because I've also, like I said, being a nurse, I've worked in like long term acute care as well. So people who were discharged that were in the rehab, and I've seen that occupational therapy come in and teach people how to do things and brush their teeth and do stuff. So I'm curious of how you're going to phrase it because your personality always comes out a little bit in there some kind of way, like it's like a little quirkiness or like a little sense of humor about it. So I'm interested to see that's definitely going to be a viral thing because everybody's just, I think they're curious about it, but some people may not know that it's okay to ask or they don't want to cross that line. um but not only that, but there may be people who are going through the same thing that you went through, that self-esteem, that don't feel comfortable talking about it. So you can also be inspiring them to say, hey, okay, we're about to start our own little posse now, so we're gonna come out, we're gonna start taking over TikTok too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love that. I love that.
for
Okay,
sure,
so
for
I
sure.
know what I know that we talked about the Rise Up. So I know that
Mhm.
people are very, now they want to get their own Rise Up shirt. So how can people support you and do you have a website? How do they get the paraphernalia?
Absolutely. So my website is the riseupstore.com. The riseupstore.com. My Instagram is ran underscore riseup. Um, and I have links on there. I have a link tree set up. It'll link you directly to the store. Same thing on with my Facebook page. There's links on there as well. If you follow me on Facebook, it's just my name, Randy Adams. Then there's links on there to my website as well. I have a little bio on there with just kind of a introduction to me and what's going on, and yeah, it's theriseupstore.com.
Okay, and I'll
Support,
actually,
support, support.
yes, for sure, for sure. And I'll actually, because I do like a little video clip on Instagram, and then the rest of the show is audio. So I'll have in the podcast notes, I'll have all of those links as well, and they will be clickable links too. So, Randy, last question going into, because it's December, going into January, everybody's starting to try to figure out their life for 2023, what we gonna do, how we gonna change the world next year. So what is one of the things that you're trying to achieve next year, as far as it could be whatever, it could be a personal goal, or it could be something with a brand, or going off of that on another tangent. So what's one of the things that you're hoping that your platform is going to open doorways for in 2023?
Okay. So in 2023, I'm just looking to scale the brand higher, of course, and reach different markets of people. My thing is not is is mainly to I want everybody to hear my story. I want to reach as many people around the world as possible and inspire as many people as I possibly can. And that's the biggest thing. Um, I want to follow my passion. I want to follow my heart. Like I just want to create a safe space. I want everybody in the world to feel um, like it's okay for them to do exactly what I did, to come out and have that freedom of speech, and um, be able to be comfortable in in their own skin. It's like, don't let your insecurities become a demon. Like, we all human, and we all, need from the spiritual aspect. Like, I believe in God. Like, I was raised in a Christian church. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know that's part of my inspiration. That's part of my motivation as well. That's part of my strength. Is if I didn't have the Holy Spirit carrying me, then I don't know where I would be today. So, um, but the I just want that message to continue to spread across the world, that you can be comfortable in your own skin, that we all human. You don't have to be insecure about this about this is God's creation. So, you know, live like it.
Yes, I love that. Okay, I'm super excited. We're going to network, we're going to support, we're going to do all of that great stuff. And I do also love, Randy, that you won or military as well, because I think that's a key thing that a lot of people are that have had some type of accident or burn victims. Like there's so many things where people have some sort of skin impairment, skin change, biological change. So I think that that's really good that one, you're able to hit all these different markets, because you're showing you still have on your fatigues and you're still working out, like you hit so many different genres of like the workout people, let's get it together, military, we all gonna come together. So I think that that's really good that you do have all of these multiple things that you're doing in life, because you're pulling people from all these different avenues, and you're like, hey, I'm this, but I'm also this, and this is how I look today, but I'm also this. Or hey, if you see me in the gym, let's get a workout in. You know, we're over here. So I love that you have all these different little faucets as well. So love that, love that. So you guys, that is Randy Adams. Spell one more time your Instagram, Randy, for anybody that's listening.
Instagram is ran underscore rise up, RAN underscore RISEUP.
Love that, love that. So that is Randy Adams, you guys. Thanks, Randy.
Yeah. Thank you, Ali. Thanks for having me.